Louis Sparre. In late summer of 1890, the Gallen-Kallelas were visited in Kuhmo by an artist friend of Akseli's, the Swedish Count Louis Sparre. The two men headed across the border into Vienna, Karelia, equipped only with sketchbooks, but soon returning with their paint boxes and canvases, because one succulent, colorful subject after another appeared before our astonished wondering eyes, as Sparre later wrote. Their guide on both trips, the second of which included Akseli's young wife Mary, was the Kuhmo crofter Renne Haverinen, of whom both artists drew several pictures during the 2 weeks they spent traveling. 2 years later, Renne was again to act as guide to Sparre and Emil Wikström on a journey lasting more than 2 months in the Vienna Karelia. Sparre became such good friends with this simple peasant that he erected a memorial on his grave in the old Kuhmo cemetery. Louis Sparre, however, returned with the sculptor Emil Wikström, who drew a new map of the area they had covered. Sparre, in turn, wrote a richly illustrated book about his travels that was not published until more than 30 years later, but was to become a classic nevertheless. At the beginning of the trip, Renne Haverinen from Matokangas was asked to be a guide, and the first destination in Vienna was the house of an old acquaintance, Rimmin Uljaskan. This time, neither the host nor his young daughter-in-law Marppa, whom Sparre had immortalized a couple of years earlier, were at home. So they spent the night in another house in Huaseisvaara. The next day, the trip continued across the border to Karelia, and it produced a unique collection of pictures and drawings of Vienna culture. Sparre came to Rimpi and Vienna for the third time in the summer of 1893 for his honeymoon. The bride was Eva Mannerheim, a sister of the future Marshal.